In this video, I'm going to show you a chronic wood rot problem. My name is Zeke. I'm Odd Job Fix. I normally restore antiques and collectibles, but today I'm working on my own house. This house was built in 1930, and this is the original windowsill. I've worked on this many times. I've filled it full of resin and Bondo. I've used the epoxy system. There's a little bit of epoxy right in the center there, and I'm poking around to see what's soft. I've gotten out most of the epoxy and resin, but there's, as I said, there's a little bit that's way down in there, and I found a few soft spots. Now what I'm doing here is I'm preparing some channels to put in a product called BoraCare, which is a bio-friendly insect and dry rot treatment that I've discovered. There's no point in doing these repairs unless you're going to treat the fungus first so that it doesn't continue. And that's what seemed to have happened each time I repaired these. This is another window. That's a sill replacement, but you can see that the sash just kept rotting. And now I have the task of putting in the BoraCare. And I'm also using now a product called Aqua-Resin. There's two parts to Aqua-Resin. One is liquid L, and the other is putty W. The liquid L acts as a primer and wood consolidator. In other words, the fuzzy, soft wood now becomes more hardened. There are products on the market called wood hardener. That's essentially what I'm doing, but it's also the primer for the powder that actually does the fill. This is the powder, the putty W of the Aqua-Resin system. You can make this into any consistency that you want. You can make it so it'll pour. You can make it so it'll spread like drywall mud. That's what I've done here. It's very workable. It reminds me a lot of the product called Fix It All, but this is much stronger. It's much more intended for wood repairs. It's very toolable. It's very friendly, and it dries quickly. So I'm moving along here. This whole thing's going to take about 10 minutes. But you don't need to watch 10 minutes of me doing this. Anyway, you can fill pretty deep with this. I did put a little cotton in the corners to hold some of the liquid back in there and made sure that I was treating all of the fungus and any insects that may still be present. But no fear about stuffing it in there really deep. There was a piece of wood in front of this which caused a lot of this problems. You never want to put a piece of molding in front of another piece of a wood frame window where water can get behind. That's what caused the damage down low there. So that's a corner tool. I'm just putting a little bit of extra on the edge. I'm going to use the corner tool now to do both sides at once. This is a drywall tool or a plasterer's tool, if you will, but it works real well for this kind of stuff. So I'll just give those corners a little bit of shape. You can re-wet this and tool it a little bit, but it does enter something that they call the beta stage, which is, it's not real hard. It's easily fileable, somewhat sandable. It will load up the sandpaper. It's easier to just sort of grade it off while it's in the beta stage. It goes from the spreadable stage to the beta stage in 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how you mix it, and it stays in the beta stage for a few hours. The next day, it's pretty tough. So you want to kind of stay with this for a while until you get it where you want it. And no problem applying a little more over the old at any point, even if it's very hard. This stuff sticks to itself. It has no problem there. I've got a little bit of a low spot here in this left-hand corner, so I'm just going to add a little, then drag it off, add a little, drag it off until I get it up to level. Very easy to work with. Never much easier than Bondo and way easier than trying to use the epoxy. Now as a test, I've let this sit 2 months without primer, and then I went ahead and primed it about a month ago, and now I'm finally filming before I get to the paint. But I've seen no deterioration, no movements, and no cracks in 3 months. So this is a little bit of a test of a new product, but I give it 5 stars. Thanks for watching.